Welcome back to MetsNet's Just D podcast, coming to you July 1st, 2020. Yo, summer. It's going by fast as hell. I can't believe it. It's already July. We're coming up on the NBA very soon. Hockey's coming back very soon. So we'll get back to that betting side on more of a consistent basis since UFC is only like week to week. This is just a video just recapping the UFC Vegas for Poirier against Hooker. Amazing event. My picks were up and down, but we're going to talk about why they were up and down. In that first matchup, Ufc Vegas going up against Jordan Griffin. Griffin was clearly a more experienced fighter, but he tends to put himself in precarious oppositions time and time again, and sometimes he can bail himself out with his submission, and sometimes he can't. Ufc Vegas definitely shows some skills other than his stand-up, because I definitely spoke about how he was lacking in the wrestling department, but he put up a very good fight in the first two rounds and then pulled away in that third. Jordan Griffin clearly was gassed, and he really tried in the first two rounds to get a submission, and it wasn't there. Zalal looks, he's still young, needs more seasoning, but he can, it is Jordan Griffin, he can at least beat the lower tier of the UFC fighters in his weight class. The second bout, Kay Hansen against Jin Yufrey. This is one of the undercard bouts that I did get right. Like I said, Jin Yufrey was an elite striker coming up from Invicta, and she did a little circuit in Japan, but definitely had the hands. But Kay Hansen was a relentless wrestler, great jiu-jitsu, took her to the ground in round 3 and handled her pretty much clearly in all 3 rounds. Finished her in the third. And Kay Hansen did have some decent stand-up. It wasn't like she was a total zero in there. She put up a really good fight and did what she was supposed to do, as I expected. The next fight was Tanner Boser going up against Felipe Lins. This one was a little more iffy on each side. Tanner Boser I called him fat and pudgy, and he waits for people to come to him. This guy, I don't know what happened over freaking coronavirus and quarantine. This man turned it around. Hit the gym. His body looked good. I think he was coming in with a little six-pack. Felipe Lins, I don't know what's wrong with you. You lost to Orlowski. You lost to now Tanner Boser. You're supposed to have power, and you're getting clocked. Boser brought the fight to you, and you couldn't handle it. Knocked you out in like 2 minutes. What was that, Felipe Lins? I expected way better. At least take him to the ground. You're Brazilian. You should know some jiu-jitsu. Boser, hey, you live another day. You're gonna move it up now. You're probably gonna face Greg Hardy now. So we'll see. Tanner Boser. All right, that was a good win. I was impressed. Next fight, which was a shock to many. No, that wasn't a shock. This was a small shock. This was Luis Pena was like a -260 favorite. Worthy is this giant killer now. Over and over, this man comes in and he's the underdog. You got to pick him. This man, unluckily, we didn't see that much from him in his first UFC fight going up against his former teammate. He knocked him out in the first round. But this one, we got to see him grapple. We got to see his stand-up. He looked very dangerous in both predicaments. Luis Pena, it was very back and forth in the first 2 rounds. The third round, you saw Worthy steadily chipping away. Luis Pena is very skilled, he picks his spots, but Worthy got onto that neck, got to that guillotine because Luis Pena was trying to take him down, and that was it. Usually in the third round, there's a lot of moisture on these fighters, and they usually slip out. But Worthy locked in on that neck and got the choke submission. It was very, very impressive. I did not see that coming. The way he won, I did not see that coming at all. Worthy, I got to stop down you. And now the bad part was we're missing out on the value. 2 times. Well, the first time I didn't even know because I wasn't even watching UFC. The second time, I was like, you know what? Nah, you're a little wild. I like how Luis Pena looks good with his striking, and I missed out. I missed out on plus 200, 250 underdog right there, and you handled your business. You look good. You look good. I'm very impressed from him. And then we're going to move on to Julian Rosa against Sean Wood. Now, this was a huge, huge upset. Minus 500, Sean Woodson. Obviously, coming from Contender Series, he has great film. Julian Rosa was a last-minute fill-in. This is the second week in a row. Last-minute fill-in has came in. Like last week, Camacho got knocked out by Justin James. And this past Saturday was Julian Rosa coming out of nowhere, like 2 days' notice, and defeats Sean Woodson. Now, this is a key part when you gotta look at these things. Experience against non-experience. Sean Woodson only 7-1, only one UFC fight. Julian Rosa clearly decorated, 24-8 record currently right now, but he's had more experience, and he brought the fight to Sean Woodson, raining in punches and then finishing him with the Darce choke, which he shouldn't have fell. This card was very, very weird. The guys that we liked they lost in weird submissions. Like Luis Pena was one, guillotine choke. Sean Woodson was another one, Darce choke. It didn't make any sense, and this was a huge upset that destroyed a lot of people's DraftKings, a lot of people's parlays, or you could just you had to parlay him because he's minus 500. It was just too much. You wasn't gonna lay 500 on, a newcomer just like that. No, you had to parlay Sean Woodson, and it killed a lot of parlays. All right, but shout out to Julian Rosa. He's probably guaranteed himself another fight now. Takashi Soto, this was quick and easy. This one, he got the benefit of the doubt because, Ramiz Baharaj? He had to cancel out because one of his cornermen had coronavirus. So that was the edge that Baharaj had, was with his wrestling and jiu-jitsu and grappling. And Takashi Soto was a stand-up striker. So once that left out the building and Jason Witt came in, he had no chance. Jason Witt does nothing. He stands up, and Takashi has way more power than him and knocked him out and finished him off on the floor with ground and pound in the first round. That was a very, very easy win. I should have, as soon as I seen that line, it really didn't move once they switched it. Should have just jumped all over that with Takashi Sato because it was striker versus striker. Brendan Allen versus Kyle Daukaus. This match was insane. It went the full 3 rounds. This was grappling du jour in each and every round. Brendan Allen dominated the first 2, but Daukaus tried to fight back, got some top control, and they went back and forth. But Brendan Allen was the winner in this grappling bout. It was very beautiful to see. As you notice, Daukaus didn't have any stand up. Brendan Allen had better stand up, but Daukaus was able to get it to the ground, and Brendan Allen was able to get it to the ground as well. And they just transitioned from position to position, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Brendan Allen got the win. That was another win for us. That was good. This next one pissed me off. Maurice Green against Gian Villante was a disgrace, an absolute disgrace. When I talked about weigh-ins, I told you that's a huge key. The way a fighter looks can say a lot. Obviously, this was a heavyweight match, so it would have been impossible for him to miss weight. You would have to blow up to 290 pounds. He's used to cutting to 205. Gian Villante blew up to around 240, and you could see it. He had a beer belly. It was disgusting during the weigh-ins, and I still was like, you know what? He has a chance. Gian Villante is better striker. Maurice Green is just tall and slow, and it proved right. First round, Maurice Green was landing a little more strikes. That's because Gian Villante was filling him out because Green is 6'7", and Gian Villante had to figure a way to get inside. But the second round, you could see Villante getting to him. And in the third round, Gian Villante knocks down Maurice Green. He has the opportunity to finish him. He went for a ground and pound, but Gian Villante, who I said had a gas tank, but with this extra weight that he just built on, was the total opposite, and he was tired. He got submitted from a modified choke from the bottom. So Villante was trying to finish with ground and pound, but he was tired. Left his left arm and his head on the right side of Maurice Green, and Maurice Green just locks both of those in and just finishes him that way. Just closes his arm because he's fat and tired and can't finish what he, like, you had the win. You know, what are you doing? I don't understand what you're doing. But if you would have, like, trained, you would have finished him easily. No, you just ate donuts and Krispy Kremes and cheesesteaks and didn't care. You had the win. You had the win. He literally just laid in his arms, and Maurice Green just happened to close it, and then he choked out because he was fat and tired. Maurice Green, stop. Stop it. You barely won this fight. You shouldn't have won this fight at all. But you want to, like, cry and like, oh, finally. The next person you fight, you're going to lose. Hope you face Tanner Boser, because he's going to beat you, and he knows how to beat bigger dudes. Like, don't stop. Stop it, Maurice Green. You're not good at all. Next fight. Mike Perry against Mickey Gall. Mickey Gall, like I said, had no cornerman. He had his girlfriend there, and it proved perfect for him in this situation. I don't know if it should do it in the next fight that he has, but this was the perfect situation where there's no fans, and this is a guy that you should beat. Went the full 3 rounds. Mike Perry clearly beat him in each and every round. Mickey Gall definitely put up a nice fight. Caught him with some stand-up, but where Mickey Gall had the advantage was the ground, and Mike Perry showed up. This is a veteran right here, Mike Perry, and he has some good wrestling. And he definitely dominated Mickey Gall in this bout. And then last but not least, we had Dustin Poirier against Dan Hangman Hooker. This was one of the fights of the year. Insane bout. First 2 rounds, Dan Hooker looked crisp, sharp, getting to Dustin Poirier. But this is a 5-round fight. And they really gassed each other themselves out in that second round. And Poirier just had more. So as you saw, 3rd, and 4th, and 5th round, you saw Poirier was winning, was hitting him with more combinations. And Dan Hooker was getting desperate trying to take Poirier down. He was successful with 4 takedowns, but in that 5th round, which it really came down to, Poirier was the fresher fighter. He looked definitely he can go another round, and Hooker was exhausted to his limits. And Dustin Poirier definitely got that unanimous decision. I feel like it should have been more of a split, but Dan Hooker, he definitely put up a valiant effort. None of these 2 guys, especially Dan Hooker, doesn't lose anything from that. They battled it out. So Dustin Poirier has his wish. Now, he proved himself coming back from surgery. I'm not going to doubt him anymore. Whoever he faces next, I'm probably going to choose him, unless it's Conor McGregor or Khabib. But anyone else, he probably might face Tony Ferguson. Anyone else, I pick Dustin Poirier, clearly. And Dan Hooker, I still love you, man. You almost had it. You had him in that second round. But came up short. All right? And that was the UFC Fight Night Vegas 4. We have a week off this week, thank God, because that card was insane. The weird twists and turns in some of those bouts, like I said, a minus 500 losing, which didn't seem, that was just crazy. But the next fight is going to be UFC 251, and that is going to be, let's get to that right here, Kamaru Usman against Gilbert Burns. That's the main event. Teammates, friends, it is going to be absolutely insane. I can't wait for this to go down. But I'm going to get to that breakdown a little bit later since we have until next week. So our picks were okay. I plan to do better, especially in that UFC 251. But thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. please follow me on Twitter and Instagram at MessageSD. And peace out, guys. One love.